opening the Granby Planning Board meeting Monday, May 22nd, 2023. And we're going to go down the agenda accordingly. Do we have any minutes?
No.
Okay. There's no correspondence here that I can, that I need to share with anybody. We have Bruce Pelletier with an A&R, which is at 5:05, but we can jump right into that. Bruce, would you like to come up and explain to the board what you're doing here on the plan, what the changes are?
So we currently own this piece of property here, and we've also owned this for many years.
So this is part of this right now?
This was subdivided out years ago.
Okay.
And then we were actually going to build back here for our retirement house, and then we decided to stay where we're at, and we're just going to make 2 estate lots in the back. We did have these perked. They did perk. And, you know, the frontages are all here. Morgan Street, the cul-de-sac, I don't know if you're familiar with Morgan Street, but there's a cul-de-sac right in front of this garage, right here. And then the rest of this is still dirt. They did pave this 6-8 years ago.
So is this considered town road?
Yes, yes. Yeah, Morgan Street used to go all the way through to Ludlow.
Okay.
So the street is actually to the fence line.
Okay. Here's meets the square footage, the setbacks, flag. Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve the A&R.
I'll make a second.
You're gonna make the motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
And you'll second? Okay, all those in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All in favor. Let's get this signed off.
Oh, I think we need a Sharpie.
Last time, I didn't have a problem
It
with
was for
this.
the Mylar.
Yeah, but I didn't have a problem with it the last time. It's struck. Was there a check with this?
It's just right in front of you.
No, that's for something
That's
else.
something else. So you already turned it in?
When I saw got this.
Okay. Make it come.
Maybe I'll slide this over to you. Sign the others.
Are we discussing the Kim's pet report today?
Possibly. Possibly.
I know it's on the agenda, but.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it up shortly. Should go through this other.
Okay.
I thought maybe,
I thought I was being added.
yeah. That's right.
Oh.
Set.
Yep.
Mr. Pelletier, you take one of these with you. And we keep the rest.
I want to see these on Facebook.
Facebook. Don't worry.
That's it?
That's it, you're all set.
Okay.
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, I'm gonna cut to the chase, even though it's early. We're not gonna be able to have the hearing tonight. We don't have a quorum. We need 4 people for a hearing, for a special permit, and obviously there's only 3 here. I apologize, I just found out recently that I knew one of the individuals wasn't gonna be here tonight, he was out of town, and the other one just texted me a few minutes ago saying that they weren't gonna be able to make it. So what I'm going to do is, at 5:15, I'm gonna bring it up. We're gonna open the hearing and continue it with a date hopefully everybody will be here for. I apologize, but it does happen periodically. It's hard to, that's, with a hearing, you typically would want 5, because you need at least 4 to vote in favor of it, so.
I should mention about the conservation, so we met the,
Yeah, so we're not gonna take any discussion on it tonight because we don't have a quorum. I apologize. We do have documentation here that was sent to us from different department heads. And I have either a text or an email that came in this afternoon that may be referring to what you're talking about, so. Again, I apologize, but we have to have at least 4 here.
Understood.
What-
Us to, okay.
I can't speak for the other 2 board members, but when would be a good time to meet?
I mean,
I don't,
we could do, next Monday is
next Monday.
holiday. Let's see. I guess we'd have to touch base with all the other board members, but
We have to set a date tonight.
a date certain. Do we want to stick with a Monday? Next Monday would be the 5th, after Memorial Day. I'm good for the 5th, but.
Can text the other board members.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can see if, it's 5:09, you want me to, let me see if Nita can come for 5:15. Do you want me to call her?
Here, tonight? Yeah, if you can get her here, yeah.
And then maybe ask her if there's a date, if she can.
Okay.
just gave you that too. Not until 5:25. Do you mind waiting till 5:25 before we open the hearing? Okay. Tell her yes.
Yep, if you can do 5:45, that'd be great. Okay, thank you. All right, yeah, bye-bye.
Okay. So with that being said, is there anybody here for any other purpose? Okay. Then, because it looks like we're going to have a quorum, if there's anybody here that plans on speaking, I'd ask that you sign in.
Great. Do you want to jump and talk about the other business while waiting for Nita?
Yeah, I was thinking they were gonna be here, but there's been discussion about zoning violations for the special permit for Kim's.
I saw that.
It's all speculation. They have not, I talked to the building inspector, who's our code enforcement officer. He has not issued them an occupancy permit. There's
Okay.
still things they need to do
Right,
in order to open up.
okay,
Some of which may be inside the building, which I'm not aware of, because it's not in our purview.
right,
But some of the conditions that we set haven't been met yet either,
okay,
as far as I know. So
Okay.
I spoke with the building inspector. I think he was gonna go out there this afternoon to take a peek, but he has not issued an occupancy permit. So all this, the letters, the speculation is rumor, you know, what they think is going on there.
okay.
Just to bring you up to date, Kim's is a grooming,
Right on the corner
business.
here, okay.
and they were told no overnight, you know, no boarding. No boarding. We wanted the railing installed on the handicap ramp. And any other additional things that they do on the site plan, if they want to put up a fence, they have to come back before the board and request it. So, I'm just kidding.
And we're just
So there's been
discussing,
some emails with the neighbors saying that they're in violation. Hey, Ken.
Sorry, I had to bring my daughter to dance.
no, that's okay.
We're in a little bit of a lull in between our next session, next item on the agenda, so we just started discussing, I brought them up to date on the rumor mill, basically, that there's been letters sent to the town, and that it's really not part of our deal right now. Once the permit has been issued, it's code enforcement that regulates it to make sure that they comply with any conditions that we set. I talked to the building inspector today. He has not been out to issue an occupancy permit. You have to comply with all the things that were in our conditions for site plan in order to operate out of there.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the railing.
Yeah, and that's what I was told. So,
Yeah, but he has the engineer, we had to get an engineer railing, so
Yep.
he has like the engineer plans and it stands and everything. We're
Sure.
just waiting for them to physically put it up.
So, what's there now has to comply with the conditions in order for him to issue a occupancy permit. I don't know anything about what's going inside with the building permit, with any of the infrastructure or anything like that. We're only concerned about the outside. Anything that's altered from what we approved, you have to come back before us.
And the only changes that have been made were a fence, correct?
It's not a so I have a litter of puppies coming, so I put up, like, it's 4 panels, it's like a 12 by 12, so that I can put my puppies out, like if I bring them to work with me, or the mother, or if I leave the puppies home, you know? It's not a humongous fence, you can't see it from 202. It's not like I fenced in the whole yard, it's not permanent. It's one of those ones like you can get a Tractor Supply that just clicks together. It can be moved, it can be bigger, it can be smaller, it can be,
Well, the building inspector will determine whether or not a temporary fence meets the conditions or not. I would say not, but that'll be up to him to enforce it.
conditions of,
Any alterations to the site, you need to come back before the board. We have to open the hearing up and review the changes.
So if you wanted to make that fence permanent, you would have to come back
right,
and,
it's not, that's
Yeah.
the thing, like, it's not permanent, it's not in the ground, there's nothing permanent about it.
Again, the building inspector will determine whether it qualifies to meet the conditions because it's not permanent or not. He may say, you got to come back before it. We didn't want fencing. I know, if my memory serves me correctly, the fencing question came up, and I think it may have been by someone in the audience, and we didn't put that into our conditions that a fence would be allowed. I personally didn't want a fence because you'd be more apt to put the animals out there and leave them out there. We said the only, and it is in the conditions, the only animals that could go out there would have to be on a leash.
Right.
So, again.
I thought it meant like a client, you know what I mean? Like, I thought, like, it's our property, like, if I wanted to bring my dog and put it out, I could, like, I didn't know that, or if I had a litter of puppies and I brought the puppies to work with me, like, I didn't know that I couldn't have the dog out. I guess it's just my misunderstanding. I thought that, when I said, like, I wasn't gonna have fences, I meant I wasn't gonna, like, put up a stockade fence around the whole entire property.
Again, fence is a fence, so, you know, and I didn't want to see it there, I didn't want to see a fence because I didn't want animals to be out there unattended and barking or disrupting the neighbors. If they're out there on a leash, then, you know, you're going to be out.
See, like, in the bylaws for that area, like, it says that I can have, like, farm animals there, or that I can have a 1,200 square foot barn. Like, so that's why I didn't think that would even, like, I guess I could put a shed over there with panels and bring my horse over if I wanted to. Like, in the bylaws, it said that you could have,
No, you have to have so many acres for a horse,
if they're your own,
even if it's your own.
yeah.
But I'm not here to discuss
Yeah, no,
that.
I'm just saying, that was my thought process in the whole thing. That's why I just was like, oh, you know, if I bring my dogs to work, I can let them hang out in the nice weather while I'm inside.
right.
Who's to determine whose dogs are whose over there?
Right.
This is a business. You asked to have a special permit to operate the business, and we put very few restrictions and conditions on it, so,
Yeah.
you know, you're not even occupied yet, and
No, we haven't done anything, I haven't taken any money from anybody, like, we're just getting everything done.
I think that once the building inspector goes out, I think we'll have a better idea, but, I mean,
even that, it's not, once we issue the permit, we're done with it.
Yeah.
I was asked to bring it up at tonight's meeting to discuss it. I thought the abutter was gonna be here too, but again, it's speculation, it's rumor, they're not open yet, so.
And because the abutter did write a letter.
It's, I believe, it may have been circulated. It's public information now, so
Yeah.
it wasn't addressed to us.
No. Do we want to talk about discussion of wireless and telecommunication towers?
Sure.
Okay.
What do you have?
Oh, I don't know. Do you want to talk about
What do
it?
you have? We're trying to entertain everybody.
Yeah.
Start this next
So
meeting.
I mean, I think one of the conversations that we had at the last board meeting was to wait for a full complement of the board to discuss like zoning amendments. So, we have a new board member, obviously, and Jason is out today and Nita's here. Yeah, we had the question about the wireless facilities, that the board was going to contemplate whether or not to add to their zoning bylaw, similar to the cannabis. So I think maybe if the board wants to entertain after the public hearing those conversations, we can do that.
Is there any, okay, so you want to wait till after?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I don't have any materials or didn't share any materials prior to the meeting.
Okay.
But I can resend, you know, what I've sent out in the past.
Okay.
And then maybe plan for the board's schedule, you know, when it wants to take that up.
So do you want to just, I want to open the public hearing?
Well, we're gonna close this one.
Okay.
You wanna open the public hearing?
You can.
All right, so I'll entertain a motion to close the regular planning board meeting.
Yep.
That's a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, do we have a
Close the
second?
planning board meeting,
We have a second?
the other business. I'll second it.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, I'm gonna open up the public hearing. It's 5:24. Public hearing in accordance with MGL Chapter 40A, Section 11. The Granby Planning Board will hold a public hearing on May 22nd, 2023 at 5:15 PM at 1 Library Lane, Old Carnegie Library, top floor, Granby, Mass. The nature of the hearing is to consider the petition of Jason Aller, applicant, 185 West State Street, LLC owner, seeking special permit under Section 6.2 of the Granby zoning bylaws and applicable Section 3, Regulations 3.5.10, sale of used motor vehicles at 185 West State Street and known as Assessor's Map 3-D1-1 in the town of Granby, Mass. Okay. The hearing is now open. The way we're going to do this is that I'm going to have the applicant share with us what his intentions are, and then the board will discuss it, and then we'll open it up to the public if anybody else has any comments about it. So, floor is yours.
So in case anyone hasn't seen the business plan, I'll explain a little bit of what I'm trying to do. So, what I'm trying to do is I'm starting a very small operation. It's strictly Japanese imported vehicles straight from Japan. None of the vehicles are domestic from here, so before they come here, they go through stringent checks and tests. They're not allowed on the ship if there's a single leak or something wrong, a light bulb's out, anything. So when they come here, they're pretty much actually in better condition than most of our cars from here for being the age, because they're antiques, so they're 25 years or older. I met today with the conservation gentleman. His one concern was, did I have a backup plan for in case there was ever an issue in the car? I let him know that there will be zero, there's an agreement also between us, there will be zero work being done on these cars there, no reconditioning of any types, no fluids being, replaced or anything like that. So the cars would come to the property already in order to be sold. Most likely, most of the vehicles will be sold before they even get here. I do most of my business online. In the past, I've sold these cars within a week or two when I list them, so they're gone pretty much like lightning. So as much as I would love to have a little bit of a lineup of cars there, I'm afraid I'll probably run out quick, because these cars take about 6 to 8 weeks to get here once I order them. So I have a feeling, most people are gonna drive by, hey, I thought there was a place that was selling cars, and I still will be, but it's mainly for the office, space also as well. So to do business professionally and sell cars, you need a business space. So they have a really nice approximately 800 square foot, retail shop that I could turn into a professional office and use to do my business there. So that way I can apply professionally for the license. They agreed to let me sell there, under the agreement that the car would stay up front, it would be away from the back of the property. That was the other thing they were worried about, where would the cars be parked? They wanted them to be parked up towards the road and not towards the back of the property. So that was agreed upon already too as well. But by all means, I want the town to know, I'm big on historical preservation, I'm big on small town stuff. I live here, I live in Belchertown now, I'm from Chesterfield, Massachusetts, so I understand, when I drive up Route 202, I don't want to see banners and streamers and for sale signs and wiggly worms and all that. I don't want anyone to think that's what they're going to see. There won't be, well, I'm not allowed to, per agreement, to have any signage, any of that with for sale signs. And I don't want anyone to have that image of, oh man, there's a used car dealer coming to Granby. It'll be a very small operation. If anything, these cars are, by regulation, they're only 4 feet wide and 10 feet long. So they're tiny, they're super cute cars. And anything, I think it'll bring a little bit of attraction to the road if they're parked there. But I wouldn't think it'd be a big eyesore. That's mainly it. So a lot of online sales for it, and just a very small operation. No repair work being done at all, just for display and to do my business professionally. So that's pretty much it. I don't have any questions.
Okay, this is the board?
Do you want to open it for public
Not yet,
discussion?
not
Okay.
yet. I don't know if the board has it. Do we have the site plan?
We did. It was
Okay.
in here, in this little.
No, here we go.
Neither, did you?
We saw it.
Okay.
Saw it before.
These cars are definitely growing in popularity.
I think we already went over the parking.
We did,
How many
yeah.
spaces and everything, so.
This isn't just for us, though, tonight. Any questions? Board have any?
I don't have any questions for you. I think that, it's small enough space on the exterior, again, no signage. Only takes up a couple parking spots.
Nate, you have anything you want to add?
No, I mean,
Okay.
I'm the new guy, but I guess zoned correctly.
Yeah. Okay, so for now, is there anybody from the public that wants to speak? You
Dennis
identify.
LaFleur,
Hey, Dennis.
East A Street. I just had a question. You kind of spelled out what you would have, and the number of vehicles you would sell as a few. What's a few vehicles?
The amount of vehicles that we agreed to have on the space at one time would be up to 10. I don't think I'll ever be able to maintain that amount at one time. But I'm gonna guess I'll probably have 3 to 5 there, maybe. And it'll be, if you're looking at this spot in the parking lot, and you're looking at it straight ahead, there's a telephone, there's a big pole there with a light that shines down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have them over so that way they can still have some of their tenants, you know, pull in there, there's some elderly and whatnot that like to park there. And I totally respect that, so I'll move them down, so it's
Yeah, I
not
was just gonna say.
really. Plus, it's better than me, so there's less chances of getting hit or something.
If anybody wants to come up and look at the
Yeah, if you wanna come and
the
look
plan,
at.
you're more than welcome to.
I have a question.
Yep, name and,
Nancy, Everett, over on Crescent Street. No signage at all, not even just a little thing to indicate your business?
The only sign maybe we spoke of was on the same board that all of the
All of
businesses
them,
are on.
okay.
on
That's-
the marquee.
Sign
Okay.
there, but not like the typical used car place, you drive by, oh, it's a used car dealer.
Right,
You won't see a used car guy out there, even any signs really, so, yeah, no signs. That's
No,
something I promised them,
Yeah.
they don't want it either, so.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
well, no, then it keeps in theme with the structure.
Absolutely.
Right, okay. So my other one is how many cars, and since it's a novelty, I'm just concerned that people are gonna slow down on 202, which might cause some problems until people are accustomed to that. So there's, people fly through there, and when Dollar General showed up, everybody was like, oh, you know, have to be careful. Yeah, but, my concern is, will there be test drives done? And where will that happen?
Test drives, not really, I mean, every vehicle I've sold, I've never had really test drives. These are, everyone that buys these in this scene knows they're antiques. They know that they're gonna need to work on them eventually. They know they're gonna have to buy it and go put a time belt or in or something eventually, because of the age of the vehicles. And eventually I would apply maybe possibly for a dealer's plate to do that, but I think I would only do that down the road if I had to. I don't even see any need for it, because I could start it, let it run it, put it through the gears, make sure it runs, and that's how I sold them for my whole time I've been doing it.
Okay.
So yeah, even on my street, I've never had one person ask me, hey, can I drive up the road? And I wouldn't let them, but yeah, there won't be test drives. So you don't have to worry about people driving up the road and all that stuff.
Right, well, because Crescent has a lot of people walking their dogs, their
Sure.
kids, bicycles, you know.
Absolutely.
And we already had an issue with some of the businesses in parking, there's not a lot. So just trying to turn into or out of Crescent can sometimes get tight. So just have more traffic, just,
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't really be letting anyone move with that car anywhere, because it's not a dealer's plate, it's legal.
Right.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
All
there's
right.
no chance of that. If they wanted to really drag it that bad, I could, eventually will, very soon I'll have a car hauler. I could haul that car out of there and bring it to their property or something and let them do that if they really need to.
Okay.
But they can't drag it legally on that property.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Anybody else have anything? Okay, so, I think it, I'd like to see if, on the vote, that we have conditions, the signage, no service of vehicles. Where would you
The
park?
limit on the number of cars.
What's that?
The limit on the number of cars.
Yeah, the limit on the number. The select board will also limit it based on what we say he can park there comfortably. You said a car carrier, where do you plan on storing that?
The car hauler?
Or hauler.
Oh, that'd be on my property. I wouldn't leave it on their property.
Okay.
If that's only, like a flatbed, not something enclosed, just a little, single car puller, that'd be on my property.
In Belchertown?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, is there any further discussion with the board?
So the sign only on
The marquee.
marquee.
Most of those things are writing down, we actually incorporated them into the lease, so they can't happen anyway.
Okay.
So, you know.
The limit on number of cars on property was 10. No service of cars on property. Was there anything else? Okay.
Ken, you have anything you want to add to this?
So I think one of the biggest questions, and I think you brought it up, Jim, was specific to the parking of the vehicles. And I know in your site plan, you identified, I think, a yellow box or a red box on the,
Parking lot?
well, it's not a paved parking lot, so, right, it's dirt. Presumably, because I was driving past as I was coming in, so you're not planning to park in the, what is it called?
The smaller area?
Yeah, right in front of next to the right of way. You're planning to park it down on the,
Yeah, if you're across the street looking at the property, big red barns here, big lot, to the right, to the rail lot. So this way, when they have people pull in to go shopping,
Yep.
they can pull in to park in that front area. I don't want
Okay.
to hog that, so it'll be down, pushed out of the way, but all the way in front, away from the back of the lot. Which is what, they were worried about with the conservation, that they were up front and not in the back. And that's why we're worried they are cool, so.
so I have, the board, their conditions that they mentioned. Signage is only,
That should be part of the condition.
presented on the marquee.
Just give me a second.
Melissa?
What was that?
I
I'm
think you want you
sorry.
to go over what you
Oh.
wrote down.
Oh, I said, okay, sign only on building and on the marquee, limit the number of cars on the property, which is 10, no service of cars on property, and then, let's see, this just came in, we understand that the site is adjacent to Route 202, located no further than 30 feet from the edge of Route 202 pavement. Although the site will be outside jurisdiction region, Jamie will be providing one-page spill response action plan for the commission and the BOH.
So make that part of the condition, that
Okay,
they
good.
still provide them with that letter. And then we got response, that was from Conservation, we got responses back from the Highway Department and the Fire Department, and both department heads took no issue with it, so, anybody wants to see these? And there was a site visit this afternoon, I've got the letter here stating that, so. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to request a motion to close the public portion of this hearing.
If I may, just one more
Sure.
quick question. The majority of sales are online. As far as the transactions that may happen in the office, what are your normal operating times?
So I will have them posted on our website and board and everything, but during the week, I'll probably be open 3 nights from about probably 5 to 8, and then Saturdays and Sundays, probably normal 9 to 5 type of thing.
Okay. And if the board takes no issue with that, then those shouldn't be part of the conditions.
They should be part of the conditions.
If it's it seems to be happening in a regular,
Right.
like,
It's not having a
work
10
day.
p.m.
So, but if the board wants to include hours, they can. Sometimes they do. But as the applicant said, 3 weekdays from 5 to 8 typically, and then on the weekends, 9 to 5. That'll be part of the minutes as well.
Do you want to include that?
We don't need to, it's going to be part of the minutes, so. So I'll entertain a motion to close the public portion of this hearing.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve with a sign only on the building marquee, limit on the number of cars on the property to a number of 10 cars, no service of cars on property, and conservation would like you to provide a one-page spill response action plan for the commission and BOH.
Do we have a second?
Board of Health, yeah.
I'll second the motion that Council just read.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. So, there'll be a letter coming out, soon, stating, the approval, and then there's a 20-day, appeal period for that, so, then you're good to go. So good luck.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Congratulations.
Very appreciative, very much. And all of you understand.
Okay.
Okay, so until we have our next meeting with a full board, hopefully, we reorganize.
We need to talk about the wireless telecommunications.
Yeah, and then we can get into the other business.
Is there anyone here for anything else?
Was the marijuana cultivation on the agenda for tonight?
It is, but we don't have our full board.
Okay.
We wanted to discuss it further. Do you have questions?
I don't, I just had more information that I wanted to share with the board. I don't know if can I do that now, or?
I'd rather you didn't. I'd rather have the full board here and have you make an appointment to be on the agenda. So if there's anybody else that wants to discuss it, they can as well,
Okay.
if you don't mind.
How do I go about that through Kathy Leonard, or?
Yes, yep, just call the office, she'll put you on the agenda. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Okay. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We have a second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned.